Hi everyone. The Nasheed artist Omar Isa said, "Ex-Muslims confuse me." And he has this clip about ex-Muslims on his TV show that he saw, and he says a bunch of things, and I wanted to respond to him. This video is actually from 2016, so it's almost three and a half years ago. And there was a comment there that's from Imtiaz Shams, a friend of mine, who said, "If you're confused about us, I'd be happy to meet and talk it through." So here's my response to Omar Isa about ex-Muslims confusing him.
About Muslims who are now ex-Muslims. I saw the program because when I get questions, I have to do my research if it's a certain topic you want me to talk about. What that program was about was the individual. It had nothing to do with Islam. Do what you want, do whatever shows you want. It's not going to work. One of the things I'm 1,000,000% confident about, my religion, Islam. Allahu Akbar. Thanks to the Lord. I have to be. I believe in my religion. I'm a Muslim. I'm proud of my religion.
I know you made this video 3 years ago and a lot has changed. People are leaving Islam in droves now. Look at what this sheikh had to say.
boqolkiiba waxa soo gala horta aan idinku bushaareynaya 3 boqolkiiba 3 baa soo gala boqolkiiba waxa ka baxa muslimiinta diinta waxa ka baxa 3 boqolkiiba akhrista statistics doona Google garaya 2014 kii carruurta muslimiinta ee youthka waliba dhalinyarada boqolkiiba 3 ba ka baxayay 2014 kii way ku celiyeen 2017 kii bay ku bilaabeen waxa ka baxay boqolkiiba 4 يعني waxaan u jeednaa haday magaaladan 10,000 ay degan yihiin waa rubuc ba baxaya sanad walba waxa ka baxa diinta boqolkiiba 24%. Wow, waa musiiba.
Normal population of Muslims will say the same thing. Get on with your life, all the best. Everything is up to our Lord. You made that decision. We've all got free will. If you really understood Islam, you would never have left Islam. Never. I can promise you that. I'm a Muslim. I wasn't always practicing. I learned about my deen. I researched my deen. And I found out that this is the true religion for me. Islam. Listen, again, that ex-Muslim show was terrible. Okay? You can't bring Islam down. You'll never be able to bring Islam down because Islam is being protected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Just like the Kaaba is being protected even though it had a bunch of floods after it was protected by him and got damaged multiple times.
Our Lord and our Master. The advice I'd give to my brothers and sisters, if you watch that show or if you watched it, just laugh it off. One lady was in it whose husband died. And that's sad, man. What did the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam do to people who used to slander him? He never said anything to them.
He killed him.
He never used to kill them.
No, he used to kill them.
So please, look at the way of our Prophet, the final messenger of this religion of Islam. Don't judge Islam by Muslims again, please. We know what the media do, my brothers and sisters. They are always trying to slander Islam. I'm a Muslim, right? So I believe my religion is the perfect religion.
I don't think the media is always trying to slander Islam. The media is looking for something clickbaity, something exciting, something dramatic, something controversial. And I guess people leaving Islam is newsworthy, so they wanted to have a discussion about it. That simple. It's not a conspiracy.
A Christian brother or sister believes Christianity is perfect and true to them, or a Jewish brother or sister thinks Judaism is true to them, they believe that. Just like me, I believe Islam is the truth. Subhanallah.
Islam could be the truth for you, and Christianity could be a truth for someone else, but it doesn't necessarily mean every single Christian thinks Christianity is perfect. Well, every single Jew thinks Judaism is perfect. Some of them may think some things are kind of bad in the religion, but they accept them anyways. It doesn't mean they think it's perfect. To think your religion is perfect requires quite a level of cognitive dissonance, to be frank.
So, what this program was about, these people who were disgruntled with their family. It's got nothing to do with Islam.
Okay, so these people said they have a problem with Islam, and he's coming in saying, oh, no, they had problems with their families, not with Islam. Why can't you just accept people, what they say, at face value? If people are saying they had a problem with Islam, these guys left Islam, they had a problem with Islam, clearly they've thought about this. Clearly it's not just their family members, it's Islam.
The program had no evidence or anything to speak about the fact why they disliked Islam. It was a really weird show. It didn't make sense to me. What I want to say is...
Well, I think that's understandable that the show wouldn't go into like Islamic hadith and the Quran and the tafsir and this scholar says and that scholar said. These are people discussing their experiences being Muslim in a Muslim family. You're expecting a theological discussion? Of course, you're most welcome to have these theological discussions one-on-one, but you wouldn't find that on TV. That'll just be like yawn. That'd be too boring for most of the population to watch that. Nobody wants to watch people discussing Quran and Sunnah on TV. That's why we have YouTube.
If you leave the fold of Islam, you can't expect to be welcomed with open arms. Islam is a very emotional thing for people. It's very emotional for me. It's my deen. I believe in it. I believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I believe Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the final messenger. I believe in the Quran. I believe in the hadiths. So the thing is now, if you leave, that's up to you. That's your prerogative. You have free will. But then don't say that people are not accepting me. What I will say is people should never, ever hurt people who have left the deen of Islam. That's my opinion. I'm not going to get into the scholarly opinion.
I love that he said that, and I love that he had to add a disclaimer about I'm not going to get into the scholarly opinions. Omar Isa, why did you have to say that? What are the scholarly opinions in Islam about people that leave the religion? Why did you have to even say that? Can't you just say people should not be killed or hurt for leaving the religion? Period. Not, I'm not going to get into the scholarly discussion, asterisk. You don't need a scholarly discussion to tell you that you don't hurt people for disbelieving or believing. Like, that should be obvious. That should be simple. That should just be the default. Like, we never hear about Christians killing ex-Christians. They don't even think like that, right? If it does happen, it's definitely not coming from any teaching in the book. There's no hadith or biblical verse that Jesus said, to kill people that leave the religion. Like it's night and day. Why do Muslims even have this? I wish Muslims would just be honest and admit that these teachings are not perfect and they need to be thrown out. Some Muslims actually do admit that, and I'm thankful for that. Like Hamza Yusuf and others are saying apostasy law no longer applies, which is great. I mean, fantastic.
I'm not a scholar. I'm against all killing. Okay? Let's get that out right there. I don't want anybody to say, look what this guy's saying. No. I'm saying you guys on that show who are upset with Islam, you should be upset with your family. Your family disowned you. For me, that program used them people's deaths to try to bring a harder message, when all it was people on the show who were angry with their families. Their families were Muslims. They're not accepting them anymore because the community is not accepting them. So all of a sudden, that's Islam's fault. That's ridiculous. That's pathetic. And that's very, very sad journalism, or whatever you call shows like that. The show was you being hateful towards Islam. So you were contradicting yourself on the show, saying we get hate, but the only people I saw giving hate were you guys against the whole religion. You included people like me in it because you said the whole of Islam. No. Don't blame the whole of Islam for a few Muslims. Don't look at a Muslim to see Islam. Look at Islam and you'll know what Islam is. Not a Muslim. A Muslim, me, human being. I'm going to make mistakes every day, and I'm going to ask my Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my Lord, to make it easy for me and forgive me. And for all of us out there, we go through the same struggles. We're humans, we make mistakes, right? So don't blame the whole religion for your own anger. It doesn't make sense. You say you're ex-Muslim.
Okay, So the thing is, why can't you judge Muslims? Muslims are the fruit of Islam. Muslims are the representatives of Islam, just like Christians are the representative of Christianity. Can you really say that Islam is this idea that exists only in books, or that existed 1400 years ago at the time of Muhammad in a totally different world? No. Islam is what is implemented by Muslims. Now, no doubt, there will be things that Muslims do which are not Islamic per se. There will be things that are a mix of culture and Islam. And just like any other religion, Islam goes through a transformation. Nobody can deny that Islam has transformed so much from the time of Prophet Muhammad. I mean, simply look at what the scholars have done over the last 1,000 years, building up the religion and the law. It's not just going back to what's in the Hadith book. Unless, of course, you're a certain extremist group that's trying to bring back the Islamic State. And we all know who that is. And other than those people, Islam is what has come about over the last 1,000+ years, 1,400 years, right? So there's no real proper Islam. You can say certain things would not be allowed under Islamic law, and Muslims shouldn't do those things. But you can't also say you can't judge anything that Muslims do and blame Islam, because Muslims are clearly influenced by Islam. No doubt that Muslims are influenced by Islam. There's certain things that are allowed in Islam, or even encouraged or taught in Islam, that are actually bad. For example, the Hadith says to beat your child if he doesn't pray at age 10, right? That's in Sunan Tirmidhi and other. The Quran in Surah Nisa, verse 34 says that a man can beat his wife under certain conditions. And there's a hadith, a Hasan hadith in Ibn Majah, that Muhammad said, a man should not be asked why he beats his wife. And do not go to sleep until you have prayed the witr. It's funny how those two things are connected in the same sentence. It's actually quite hilarious. According to Islam QA, a non-Muslim does not inherit from a Muslim. So according to many Muslims, and this is Islamic law, and maybe there's some disagreement on this, I don't know. If a person leaves Islam, they no longer get an inheritance. And frankly speaking, I mean, whatever Islamic law says, this is what Muslims tend to do. Many Muslims I know, ex-Muslims I should say, the families cut them off. They said, I'm not paying for your university, you're not staying in my house anymore, you're no longer my son, because they left Islam. Does Islam say you should do that? Well, not necessarily. Islam doesn't say what you do if your son leaves Islam. It doesn't actually say that. It says what would happen if somebody leaves Islam under certain conditions. Under the apostasy law, we all know what happens in an Islamic state. But in general, if your child leaves Islam, what are you supposed to do? Well, I would say treat them kindly, be nice to them, still take care of them and show them that you're a father. I just want to say about his statements about hating Islam and hating religion. And do you need to actually love all religions, right? Do you need to love all belief systems, all ideologies? I mean, is it okay to hate communism, for example? Do we need to love communism? Why do we need to protect these ideas and say, oh, this is hatred and hate speech, when those ideas and those religions themselves contain hate, right? Doesn't the Quran say, the Jews say Ezra is the son of Allah, and the Christians say the Messiah is the son of Allah? That is the statement from their mouths. They imitate the saying of those who disbelieved. May Allah destroy them. How are they deluded? 9:30. And another one, O you who believed, do not take the disbelievers as allies instead of the believers. Do you wish to give Allah against you a clear case? Chapter 4, verse 144. In another verse, you will surely find the most intense of people in animosity towards the believers to be the Jews and those who associate others with Allah. And you will find the nearest of them in affection to the believers those who say we are Christians. 582. So it's basically saying that Jews hate Muslims. This is in the Quran. The Hadith also contains statements like, may Allah curse the Jews because they did so and so. This whole concept of wala and bara, which is a part of Islam, is a concept of associating yourself with Muslims and, benefiting Muslims and working together with Muslims over non-Muslims, right? You find certain Islamic groups, especially Islamists, tend to emphasize this more. For example, the Quran, but many Muslims also say that it's okay to be kind and just and fair with non-Muslims. The Quran says, Allah does not forbid you to deal justly and kindly with those who fought not against you on account of your religion and did not drive you out of your homes. Verily, Allah loves those who deal with equity. This is Surah 60, verses 8 to 9.
You say you're ex-Muslim, but then you can't say, why am I not accepted by the Muslim community? Does that even make sense to you? Really? Come on now. Come on now. You can't insult a religion and then go, please accept me. Please accept me. It doesn't make sense. Let me break it to you like this. The people who are on that show, what would you do if I insulted your mother? You'd be hurt, right?
So, insulting your mother, obviously my mother has feelings and she'd be upset. But if you insult Islam, Islam doesn't have feelings. It's just a belief system, right? That being said, most ex-Muslims are not going around in the conversations with Muslims insulting Islam. They just don't believe. Nobody's saying we want to be thanked for that. Nobody's saying we want to be given, a prize or a trophy. We simply want to be accepted as regular members of the community. I have a friend who's Jewish, and he told me that when he's in a gathering and someone asks him, "Are you Jewish?" and he says, "No, I'm atheist," they actually say, "Oh, but you're still Jewish." And nobody has a problem with that. I've even heard that if you go to the temple and you question, or you even openly an atheist, they don't even have a problem with that. They accept that. And I'm sure it's different in different communities, but this is something that's much better for the community. Like to allow people to be themselves and not have to hide it. Because otherwise what you do is you create this problem of hypocrisy. That people have to pretend to be something that they're not. Right? They have to pretend to be believers because otherwise there's consequences, right? And like all of the consequences I mentioned, like not inheriting from them and being kicked out of their homes and whatnot.
You'd be hurt, right? So at one point, Mariam Namazi, who was on the show as the forefront of this ex-Muslim council, she goes, I don't like Islam. The interviewer behind the camera goes, no, you mean you don't like any religion though, do you? She goes, no, I don't like any religion. Really? Really? Are you being serious? Are you being serious? Is that really what TV is producing now? A woman who has got hate in her heart, and you're going to bring that to the forefront? How much more propaganda is going to happen against Islam? Let's not forget.
It's not hatred if someone doesn't like a religion. Everyone's allowed to have their opinion. Allah himself in the Quran doesn't like disbelievers. So why is that hatred allowed? Why is that accepted?
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the best of planners. People can plan, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the best of planners. You've left Islam, in my opinion, you're lost. Go on with your life. Get on with it. Okay? Again, normal human being here.
Exactly. We would love to get on with it, but Muslims keep putting roadblocks along the way to make it difficult for us to get on with our lives. And the harsher and more strict and nasty you are to someone that leaves the religion, the more pain you cause them, the more likely they're going to become an activist against this thing that hurt them. Thanks for watching. Let's keep pushing for better values for the world. Secularism, tolerance, freedom of religion, and for the right for people to believe or disbelieve whatever they want. Those of us that don't believe, we're not going anywhere. So deal with it. Finally, if you like this video and you're appreciating the content and the effort that I'm putting into making these, and you would like to support me, please check out my support page below. I have about 30 monthly supporters, and I could definitely use a bit more help to get to where I want to with this channel. Thank you so much for all of the support from everyone that supported me so far. I really appreciate it. I've been able to upgrade my equipment and put in a little bit more time towards this project. Together we can change the world. This is Abdullah Samir signing out.